Guys, happy Monday. So first of all, guys, I wanted to say thank you for everyone who reached out about my grandfather. Really appreciate it. I did a post last week, was obviously like incredibly shattering that he passed away, but literally had like hundreds of messages and comments and things like that. Just want to say how much I appreciate you guys. It actually meant the world to me. I'm sorry if I didn't get back to everyone, but just wanted to say I firstly really appreciate that. Made me feel very loved in a tough time. So thank you very much to everyone who reached out to me. So guys, there's been a lot happening, right, with Facebook and Apple and iOS and everything like that. And I'm not going to go into the changes that are happening and things like that. You can YouTube that, but essentially it's going to change the targeting. It's going to affect conversion ads and things like that. And it's going to give, people who have an iPhone a chance to not be, followed and pixeled and fucking targeted everywhere, which I think a lot of people will kind of want to do with everything that kind of happened with the Facebook tracking a couple of years ago. But here's my thoughts on it. I don't give a fuck, right? Like, who cares, guys? Like, this is the thing that's going to happen is if you worry about this stuff, and I've been raving on about this for years with people in the inner circle, that if one marketing platform, right, if Facebook shut down today and that could sink your business, then you have very big problems in business, and it's not Facebook's fault. Right. So if you're like incredibly stressed about this and you're like, hey, like my Facebook ads don't work, like I'm absolutely done, you're just not thinking out of the box. And I want you to always think of like adapting and overcoming, because Facebook won't be here forever. Right. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Right. But it certainly won't be as successful as what it is forever because the prices like keep on increasing. But, firstly, you want to make sure that you're aware of the situation, the changes so your ads don't completely flop. But also, why don't you be a business owner who's not reliant on one source of leads? And, I've been kind of harping on about this for you guys for years and years to have 7 flows of leads. And the reason why was when we had to get 50 leads a week for our business, we realized we couldn't only just rely on Facebook ads, right? We had to think outside the box. You've got Google ads, you've got joint ventures, you've got outreach, this crazy thing where you go out and like walk along the beach and meet people and chat to them. My friend Aaron built a 7-figure business with no Facebook ads. So I'm telling you here today, right now, and I love Facebook ads. I have an agency. In our programs, we talk about Facebook ads to the absolute cows come home, right? But if Facebook ads shut down today, that's not going to massively affect your business because you'll think outside the box. You can still do organic. You can still reach people. You can still have an epic website. You can run Google ads. You can do joint ventures. You can go sponsor local sporting clubs. You can walk around to all the local businesses, right? So I'm not caught up on one particular type of lead. And if any one of these platforms shuts down, it is not going to affect your fitness business because you're going to learn the tactics to adapt and overcome. And it's going to make you think outside the box. Just think like 10 years ago or 15 years ago when there were no Facebook ads, there were still highly successful gyms, right? There were still highly successful fitness businesses. So one of the things that I kind of learned, so I've had a lot of emails, a lot of people reach out to me, what do you think? Blah. Firstly, make sure you're aware of the situation so your ads don't flop. But also it might be like a pretty good time because you can see that Apple can kind of do this like the flick of a switch, right? Just know that if you're reliant on one type of lead generation, right? If you're purely reliant on Facebook ads now, your business is running a very rocky road. A very rocky road. Now, I'm not going to say that you should develop 7 lead sources today because it might be a little bit of hard work. If you want to absolutely get at it like an absolute beast, you'll be able to do it in a month. People take fucking 9 months to do it. If you want to get after it, you do it in a month, right? Depends how hard you want to work, how much you want to think outside the box. But don't rely on one type of ad, right? Don't rely on your Facebook ads to grow your business. Build 1 funnel, then 2, you might have Facebook and organic, you probably got referrals, and you might have website, you might build out Google ads, you might do LinkedIn, you might go do outreach, you might go sponsor clubs, and start to think outside the box so you're not so reliant on these things that are happening. Because just know the changes that will happen in Facebook and Google are totally out of your control. You have nothing to do with those businesses, and you can't control the cost of the leads, the targeting, the pixels. What Apple do, they don't give a flying F about us as gym owners, right? They're just making the best decision for their user experience. And start to adapt and overcome. And I would start to plan different lead generation sources ASAP. So if it's something that's worried about you, or you're seeing all this hysteria of people posting about, it's been all over my feeds, right? Is firstly, make sure you're aware of the situation, but then go, hey, maybe it's time I'm not so reliant on Facebook ads. Maybe it's time you build out a couple of other lead generation sources so that your business continues to grow. Right? No matter what happens in the external world, as local gym owners, we can control the market. And there are hundreds of ways to market your business, not just Facebook ads. I know some incredibly successful people who have massive businesses and don't even know how to run Facebook ads and don't work with an agency. So don't let it scare you. Make sure you're aware so your ads don't flop, and make sure you know how to make the changes, which we can teach you in the inner circle. But then also, guys, it's time to build multiple lead generation sources. You have 7 lead generation sources that generate you 3 leads a week. That's 21 leads a week. You'll have a high 6-figure or 7-figure business within 12 or 18 months, depending where you're at today. And that's my thoughts on the changes. Like, obviously, I've studied it a lot, talked to a lot of mentors, so I'm very, very aware of it. But when I was saying to them, I'm like, I just don't care, right? If Facebook shut down today, I'd be shattered, right? But after 24 hours, I'd be like, hey, cool. How do we overcome this? This is new and exciting, right? So don't rely on one type of lead. If it worried you, if you're kind of freaking out, do your study so you know. But then, guys, it's time to build multiple types of lead generation within your business and not just rely on one, because if you have bad weeks or bad months, it really affects your business, and that's what we don't want. Or if external things happen in costing, in targeting, in whatever happens over the next 10 years, just adapt and overcome, and know that there are hundreds of ways to market your business. A lot of them are free ways. It just means going out more. You go to BNI, that'll get you like a client or 2 a week. Like, there's literally hundreds of ways. So never get worried, never lose sleep over this stuff. Just know that these things happen in life. There's good periods, there's bad periods, there's periods of change, and we will always adapt and overcome. The person who's willing to work the hardest, to push themselves out of their comfort zones and not rely on one type of lead generation source, will always win in any type of business, not just owning a fitness business. So guys, I hope you have a really, really epic day. If you guys are interested, if you like this content and you want to join the inner circle, send me a private message. We're starting to open up intakes again. Would really love to work with a gym owner who would like to add, gym owner or bootcamp owner who would like to add 100 members or more to their business in 2021. You guys have a really good day.